My son Sebastian, he has a sickle cell disease, SS, and he has been involved in one study is every 3 months.
I was first diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma when I was 11 years old, and very common, I was re-diagnosed with a secondary cancer when I was 16, osteosarcoma.
Trust is a major factor in the minority community. We do want to trust, and we want to know where the research is going, if it's positive, if it's going to get used positively and not negatively. You have to feel comfortable enough to do this, and I think that's one of the main things that my son's doctor tries to do, is to make us, feel assured that this is a positive environment. No one's coming here to get you or to do anything negative. And everyone that usually works with him wants better for the sickle cell community. The ease is the main thing, because a lot of people feel like, they can't get off work. And usually if you have a child with a chronic illness, you've already missed so many days of work that you don't have any more days to miss. Where my son goes, they make clinical hours at 4 o'clock and after, and they also do things on Saturday. So bring the research to us on a Saturday or in the afternoon after work time, it makes it a whole lot easier to participate.
I think researchers need to look at the population that they're studying. Are you looking at young families? Then I think you need to consider, is childcare an issue? Is getting off of work an issue? If they're a young worker and they don't have any longevity, do they have time off? So you have to look at the time when the study meets. If you can only come during office hours 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, that may cut some people out because they may not be able to get off work during that time. If you're holding things late in the afternoon, you may need to consider providing childcare. Some families may not have access to transportation, so if are they going to have to catch the bus? You have to be mindful. Not saying that you need to study the bus schedule in detail and know exactly when and where and how, but you need to be mindful. Do I need to offer a bus voucher?
It's like if I was to go to work and you don't pay me. Well, and someone's saying, well, you should be here just because you love this, you love this job. Doctors love their job, but you still pay them. Athletes love their job, but you still pay them. So, you can do it out the kindness of your heart, but everyone usually gets a little something. I have never felt bothered by any researchers approaching me while I've been at my son's regularly scheduled appointments. I did have one, and he was not involved as far as my son's disease. It was an emergency room visit, and my son was in distress, and he asked me just to take a swab of his nose. And I said no, because, my son was already in distress. I didn't really know what it was for. It wasn't part of the studies for my son's disease. It was just a general study, and I did turn that down just because I had no idea who this guy was, and I was pretty offended that while in an emergency room situation, you are asking me to do research.
I think that when you know that what you have is valuable, sometimes you treat it like other people ought to know that as well. And there's nothing wrong with tooting your own horn, but there's a way to do that in humility that draws other people in and helps them to get on board with what you're doing. I just want them to have a comprehensive understanding of what the project entails. What happens at the beginning, what happens in the middle, and what happens at the end. It's more than just a time commitment. How will I know what happened with your study findings? Will I be contacted? Will I be notified? Will I, receive an email that says the study has been complete and here's the paper that was written as a result of it, or here's the new protocol that was developed, or what did you find? And so I think it's important for people to know, how will I receive that information?
I have never heard back from any of the studies my son has been involved in, and I would love to. I would love to see what came of it. And that's also another reason why a lot of minorities don't do the studies is because they don't want to they never hear the results. You know, it's kind of like I put my child's blood out here and I don't know what has happened to it.